So the first thing that you can do to have a better understanding about where you fit and what your niche might be is to ask yourself uncomfortable questions. So when I was younger, I would do this thing where I would be in bed at night and I would think about my day or think about what I'm doing or my mission or whatever is going on in my life. And the way in which I would think about it is I would imagine myself being interviewed, because if you're interviewed, like now it's being filmed, it's like a permanent way of answering things. It means that it's not just what you think, it's what you mean. So an interview is a cool way to get that feeling of pressure of you need to have the right answer about what it is that you really mean here. So I would ask myself questions, and some of the questions that you learn to ask yourself after you've been asking yourself uncomfortable questions for a while is that you think that you know the answers to these questions, but then you ask them and you realize that there are more questions that follow, and then even more questions that follow. So asking yourself uncomfortable questions is a way to understand not only what you believe in, but what you don't believe in. It's what you stand for and what you don't stand for. And sometimes asking ourselves the questions that we really wouldn't want anyone else to ask us is a way for us to get to know ourselves and to figure out the blind spots about what it is that we're worrying about in our lives. So to find your niche by asking yourself uncomfortable questions, you could say to yourself, what don't I want to be? You can ask yourself, do I want to be like my dad? Do I want to be like my mom? Do I want to be like anyone I've ever met? If not, what am I going to do about it? Where am I going to go? Where am I going to start? Who could I look up to? Who do I respect? Why do I respect them? These are all questions that are a little bit uncomfortable to ask if you're not used to asking them. You can hear from the way in which I'm going, I've been doing this a while. And that's the point, is that asking yourself real and sometimes uncomfortable questions, it's a practice, it's a skill. I say this all the time. Self-awareness, knowing yourself, isn't just, yeah, well, I know my name and I know my story and I know kind of how I relate to things. Doesn't mean you know yourself. Knowing yourself is something that takes effort. It's something that you do every day. So asking yourself uncomfortable questions is a way to find your niche, just as a way for you to engage with yourself and to unlock what your real truth is. What is it that you care about? Where do you see yourself? What are your real talents? I could give you examples of what an uncomfortable question might be. Specific ones. I just gave a whole bunch of very vague ones. But I don't want to rob you of like there's a right way to do this and there's a wrong way to do this. If it feels a little bit uncomfortable, go there. Go to the outside edges of what you feel comfortable about in terms of understanding yourself. That's a fantastic place to be, to find out where you belong.